So here we are again. We are at session 18. So this is the beginning of June 2025. This was my second last session. And um, this one was a bit of a triggering week for me. And yeah. Lots is happening again here. So my last intention was I intend to experience willingness to the unknown, being a complete blessing. And that was such a beautiful intention to have. And yeah, releasing of that fear of the unknown happening here. So I've written here, my week has gone really fast. I committed to the shadow work program and paid the money, and I'm getting stuck into the pre-course work. Um, Also doing a 4-week business container, which I mentioned a few breathes ago. And I really feel that this business transition to make a global impact. So my intention quite a few breaths ago now was to have worldwide impact and to create a legacy. And so, these things are really starting to play out in my life now of planting that seed and watching it grow. So watch out, internet, hey? I'll probably be looking back on these videos one day thinking, oh my gosh, how, you know, how small I used to feel. But anyway, so I think again here, breathwork and coaching go hand in hand with this and go hand in hand again with massage, with facials, because it's about releasing from the nervous system, releasing from the body, and doing things because we want to feel good in our bodies. Creating that time for self-care, doing that inner work, getting rid of the limiting belief systems and rewiring new, expansive belief systems where anything and everything is possible. So, what I've written here is creating the life of my dreams, transforming myself and my business, money for renovating our house, money for holidays, money for adventures. And I intend to have and increase my capacity to hold all of these things that I'm creating. So again, there's so much shift happening here, so much shift in my past intentions, creating limitless potential, planting the seed of creating a global impact, and just shifting my mindset from I can only have this to I can have whatever I want. I am the creator of my reality. I also had a moment this week where my kids were, I don't even remember what they were fighting about, but um, a fight started because one of them was doing the dishes and flicked soapy dishwater into the eyes and faces of the other two. And one of them just had a tanty and cracked it and walked away. And the other one took it upon himself to chase after him, pin him down on the table, and, give him a bit of a, you don't do that to me. But in the process, They smashed the table into multiple pieces. The whole tabletop broke away from the supporting leg, the supporting stand in the middle. And I was really fucking angry. I was very, very heated um in that session and oh, in that session. I was very, very heated in that moment and I was really angry and there was a lot of swearing and a lot of carrying on and like in that moment too, it was a lot like I wanted to say, I can't have nice things. They ruin everything. But I couldn't actually let myself say that or think that, which I thought was incredibly interesting. Because for quite some time previous, like I've said to myself often, I can't have nice things. My kids destroy everything. I can't have nice things. So it's interesting that that thought tried to be there, but it wouldn't land. There was also a bit of a moment there where it was just like, we'll throw the fucking table away, throw it outside, set it on fire. I was really angry, really, really angry in that moment. And I came in here, I had to walk away. And I came in here and I started to write down what I was going through. And sitting in here, I could hear on the other side of the wall, um, Angus, who broke the table, was frantically trying to fix it. He knew he'd fucked up big time and he was frantically trying to fix it. And Michael was out there saying, look, mate, there's nothing you can do about it now. We'll just sort it out later. And after I'd moved through being angry and feeling rage, I started to feel a lot of compassion. I could hear how he was like trying desperately to fix it. And I started feeling a lot of compassion for him. And then I was like starting to question myself. I was like, well, what's happening here? I'm not angry anymore. I'm feeling compassion. Like, what is happening here? Am I am I regulating? Am I self-regulating myself here? Or am I suppressing what's happening? Like, how have I moved through this so quickly? Because like previously, I would have been hanging on to this and it would have been circling in my head and I would have just been doing the rounds in my mind of what I should have said and what I should have done and what should have happened and blah, blah, blah. And, I was like, what's happening here? I don't get it. I just feel really confused. And, um, the following day, the table got fixed. But it also kind of brought some things to mind about my own experience with my brothers and, um, how I really never felt like I belonged. I always felt like I didn't belong there. I was so different to my brothers, so different to everyone else in my family, and I just didn't feel like I fit in. And I actually reached out in the chat in the app for the School of Breathwork, and I'd never really used the chat. I find the chats to be like overwhelming. You go back in and then so much has happened and you can't keep up. And so I really felt the need to reach out and get some support there and just share my experience. And so I did that. And then I decided to do a quick mini breathe, a self breathe, 15-minute breathe, um, and just kind of sit with what was happening for me in that moment. And so, yeah, my intention was to feel, um, a belonging, to feel supported and to feel a belonging in my community. Um, and during that little mini brief, there were thoughts of feeling alone, thoughts of feeling unwanted, thoughts of feeling useless and unloved and lonely. And um, and um, I've also written in here that I was able to move through that really easefully as well. Like um, I it was almost like it was too good to be true. Like how could I have gone from feeling alone, feeling unsupported, feeling um useless and lonely to like just being back to normal, just feeling my normal self, um, feeling like nothing had happened when in that moment it was a really significant thing. And so again, I came back to this. I'm confused, like what's happening here? Am I suppressing my experience? Am I shifting through emotion? Like I really didn't quite understand what was happening. And so I went into this breath work, into this intention setting with wanting to get some clarity, wanting to get some clarity around, am I self-regulating? Am I suppressing? Like it feels too easy. Just feels too easy. So why is it too easy? Why is it too easy? And then breaking through this process and talking through this process, I had this realization that I'm actually at a new baseline in my nervous system of how things are. I was self-regulating. I have outgrown that old way of doing and that old way of being. And the reason why things felt like nothing was happening, but lots was happening, was because I wasn't getting caught up in the little tidbits of drama that I once upon a time would get caught up in. And so nothing was happening because there was no drama happening. Lots was still happening in the background, but it also felt like nothing much was really happening. And so my intention for this breathwork session, for this number 18, I should say, number 18, was anchoring in this new baseline into my body. Um, so my intention here is to anchor this as my new baseline in life and business. Life is spacious and easeful. And in my body, talking through this, I felt so spacious. I felt like I had awareness. I felt like I had clarity, and it felt super exciting. Um, I felt different, but I couldn't explain how, but I just felt different with this awareness. And when we went into the breathe, when we laid down, I was just like so super duper proud of myself. I was like, I am so amazing. How amazing am I? Like, look at what I've achieved. Look at what I have done. I have created a new baseline for myself about what life should be, how life should be lived. I'm fucking self-regulated. That doesn't mean I don't feel the feels. It means I move through them with so much more ease. And like, how fucking amazing is that? And so I was so energized. I was so energized. And then when we laid down, I was, yeah, just so in this energy of like the awareness of my intention and what I'd created. And I had all of these amazing thoughts running through my mind, affirming, like, look at where you were and look at where you are now. Like, you're just the creator of life. You are magnificent. And, life doesn't have to be hard. I trust. I am anchoring in this trust that life does not have to be hard. I am just making these moments happen in my life. I'm seeing these old patterns and recognizing a new way of being. Um, and I was like, why isn't everyone doing breath work? Look at what I've done. Everyone should be doing breath work. Like, I'm really like, everyone needs to know this. Everyone needs to do this. Everyone needs to experience this. Like, I was in such a high. And it was so expansive and so energizing. And recognizing my old patterns in other people, recognizing that they don't belong to me anymore. And I imagined there's a ceiling fan and light above me while I breathe. And I imagined the light from the fan being like this glowing energy shining down on me. And I felt my heart and I felt my nervous system expand. I felt them expand outside of my body. Like they were huge. And I felt I just, I was just like smiling through the whole thing. Like it was so incredible and so amazing. And my face, I wrote down my face hurt because I was smiling so much. And then things started to feel a little bit heavy. Um, I started to disassociate from my limbs, from my arms, from my legs. My breathing started to shallow. I felt at half energy. Um, I wrote grayscale, like everything went into grayscale, monotone. My head started to fall into my shoulders, cutting off my throat, and my breath when that happened. I had the blanket over my head, and I was kind of like, what's happening here? There was this sense of doubt that started to creep in. There was this sense of self-doubt that started to creep in. There was this sense of like, okay, so this is good, but when's the shit gonna start happening? Like this is too good. The shit's coming, you know? Um, and then I had this kind of awareness that in order to anchor in this new baseline, I needed to let go of the old baseline. I was coming back into that old baseline of nervous system pattern. And so in that heaviness, in that grayscale, I just let it be there. I let it be there and I validated it. Um, it was once true, but it doesn't need to be true anymore. And I also recognized that a lot of these sensations were sensations that I experienced early on in my breathwork journey. And so again, being able to relive some of these experiences has just been incredible because I do not relate at all to that person, to that version of myself. Like this breathe and all of the breathes leading up to this, like major game changer. And continuing again. I'm recording. Continuing again to just follow my body and follow the guidance of my body and um be just in it. I rolled over onto my stomach. And as soon as I rolled over onto my stomach, I felt that shift in my body again. And I felt I could breathe deeply into my chest. Even though I was on my stomach, I could breathe really deeply into my chest. And it felt really expansive. And I also felt, I made a note here, I also felt like I had wings starting to grow out of my back. And, my wings are what I got tattooed because, it's meaningful for me. It's me feeling freedom. It's me being in the freedom of being my authentic self. So I felt these wings in my back as I laid over onto my belly. And I just felt so supported. I felt safe. And I just felt so much trust on my belly, laying like that. And then I felt the call to roll back over. And as soon as I rolled back over, it was like, all right, I'm bringing in all these things that I had in the beginning. I'm bringing them all back. We're bringing them back into this felt sense, this newfound felt sense in my body, in my nervous system. And so back to the expansion, back to that trust, back to those affirming words. And how amazing am I? How fucking amazing am I that I have done this and I have created this new way of life. And I have the freedom. I have the freedom to choose. I get to choose my reality. I can create anything I dream of. You know, I, the impact that I am here to make awaits me. And I cannot share, I cannot wait to share this with the world. I cannot wait for this impact to ripple out in the world. This is what I am here to do. This is what I am here to share. And it was the literal definition of my intention. In fact, one of the girls sitting in on the breathwork session said, like, not just for me, but all of us in the group. She was like, I have never, ever experienced literal definitions of intentions play out so clearly like that. And off the back of that breathwork session, that very night, I created a post on my social media, um, just in awe of this experience. Like, we are the creators. I am the master creator of my life. We are the creators of our lives. And, just so, so lit up and inspired by what I've been able to create and how I am a completely different version of myself. I am becoming more authentic. I am becoming open and willing and moving. I'm not held back by fear. I'm not held back by limitations like I once was. This is a completely new version of myself. And so that was my session 18. And, if this is what I can achieve in 18 breathwork sessions, like, oh my God, like, how amazing is breathwork? How amazing is this? How amazing is this opportunity to just rewire my nervous system like this? Oh my gosh. So, anyway. that was my session 18. I have one more session to share with you until we are completely caught up. And I can't wait to see you on the next video. So, goodbye for now, and I'll see you very, very soon.